Welcome to this video, From West Philly to Florida, My Story, by Bones Slick. I will share my experiences, starting with my childhood in West Philadelphia, and how I moved to Florida shaped my life. I was born in West Philadelphia in the summer of 1974. You can call me Bones Slick. I won't give you every personal detail, but I will give you the truth. The real story, as I lived it. This is where it all begins. Some of my earliest memories don't come as full stories. They come as feelings, sounds, and smells. I remember the smell of fresh bread in the air, warm pretzels with mustard, and tearing pieces of bread with my hands. Let's take a look at Osage Avenue, West Philadelphia, in 1974. It was a predominantly African-American community, with approximately 2,500 residents living in strong multi-generational households. Osage Avenue in the 1970s, it was a real neighborhood. Row houses lined up, one after another, families living close together, life happening right outside your front door. This was West Philadelphia, a working-class community, mostly black families, people trying to live, trying to make it day by day. You had kids playing outside, people sitting on the steps, neighbors who knew each other, and energy in the air. The architecture was characterized by late 19th century Victorian row houses with brick construction and ornate cornices, reflecting high architectural integrity. Osage Avenue, that street meant something to me. That's where I was born, where my story started. At the time, I had no idea that years later, that same street would become known for something much bigger, something tragic, something the whole country would talk about. But back then, it was just home. Community life revolved around local businesses like corner stores and barbershops. Cobb's Creek Park was a vital recreational space, supporting a vibrant culture with block parties, and strong community activism. I grew up on Osage Avenue in West Philadelphia, 5,538. That was one of the homes. My mother actually had 2 residential properties on that same street. Back then, I didn't understand what that meant. I was just a kid, but looking back now, I realize we had something there. Something stable, something real, even if it didn't last. Childhood was defined by adventure through exploring and discovery, imagination by creating worlds and dreaming, community with block parties and shared meals, and comfort found in family, home-cooked food, and safety. My childhood experiences included a strong sense of community, adventure, imagination, and comfort, all contributing to a feeling of belonging and warmth. When I think about those early years, I don't think in straight lines. I think in feelings. I felt happy, playful. I felt loved, safe, peaceful. But at the same time, I was confused. Not in a way I could explain, just in a way a child feels when they don't fully understand the world around them. The smell of life. I remember involved adventure, like rain on asphalt and cut grass, community with block party grills and gardens, and comfort from simmering pots, fresh bread, and brewing coffee. These smells evoke memories of the community, the comfort of home, and the adventures of playing outdoors. Some of my strongest memories come through my senses. I remember the smell of fresh bread in Philadelphia. That smell stayed with me. It meant something, even back then. And I remember eating Wonder Bread, not making sandwiches, just eating it with my hands. Simple moments, but real. The streets of West Philadelphia in the 1970s defined the environment. The built environment consisted of Victorian row homes. The natural environment included mature street trees and pocket parks, offering respite within the urban grid. It wasn't perfect, but it was alive. You could hear voices, laughter, music playing from somewhere down the street. The sidewalks, the streets, they weren't quiet. They had life in them, and as a child, that becomes your world. The social environment was vibrant, with street culture, stoop sitting, block parties, and community gatherings that fostered close-knit neighborhood bonds. I remember the cobblestone streets. Something about them felt solid, like they had history in them. That was the ground I came up on, before I even knew what life really was. My family history is rich with oral tradition. Stories include the crossing, about my grandfather's journey, the great snowstorm, and the first car, symbolizing freedom. Other significant stories were of the corner store, the heart of the neighborhood, and the family recipe, a culinary tradition passed down with love. Some parts of my story, I don't remember myself. I was told I fell down the stairs when I was just a baby. I was told I bit another baby on the cheek. I don't remember those moments, but they became part of how my story was told, part of how people saw me before I even knew who I was. My father's world, another home, hints at the environment and setting that shaped my perspective. a world different in West Philly. I remember going to visit my father. There was a woman there. Margie. I don't know if she was his wife or not. All I knew was she was there. And there were kids too. Leslie and Keith. That house felt different from the house my mother and I lived in. The idea of under the bed reflects my emotional state about the impending move. I didn't want to leave. It represents a desire to hide and stay in the comfort of what I knew. I remember when my mother would come to pick me up from my dad's house. I didn't want to go. I would crawl under the bed, trying to hide, trying to stay. Because in that moment, I felt like I was being treated well there. And as a child, you don't question that feeling. You just hold on to it. This image captures a child's mind trying to understand. Facing the move, my young mind was grappling with the changes and the unknown future. I didn't understand relationships. I didn't understand adults, and I didn't understand why things were the way they were. All I understood was how things felt. And sometimes it felt better there than when I had to leave. Now looking back, I understand more about that time. The 1970s wasn't easy for a lot of families in cities like Philadelphia. There were struggles, money was tight, and life could be hard. But as a child, I didn't see all of that. I just saw my world. I just felt happy, playful, loved, safe. Peaceful, pause, and sometimes confused. Despite my feelings, change was coming. The slide title, Change Was Coming, the Beginning of Movement, signifies the start of our family's journey toward a new life. Even though Philadelphia was my beginning, it wasn't where my story would stay. Decisions were being made, moves were already in motion, and my life was about to change. I didn't know it yet, but I was about to leave everything familiar behind. This new chapter, titled This Was the Beginning, highlights the collective step we took as a family toward a bright, uncertain future, symbolizing growth and movement. West Philadelphia, Osage Avenue, the smells, the streets, the feelings. That was my beginning. Happy, playful, loved, safe, peaceful, and a little confused. But it was mine, and soon the journey would begin.